the question that we asked is, what's your biggest money management challenge? And how many said my wife, my husband, my wife, my husband,
partners,
my partner, my friend.
Bringing my partner on board. I wonder if anyone who's listening to this is nodding, going, yep, that's my partner. He just won't do it. She just won't do it.
Because that jumped out as the theme, right? Selling the benefits of this to your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we all have relationships, and some of us are better with money than others.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us, money burns a hole in the pocket, and the other, that yin yang.
Yep.
Maybe that's why we connect so well together. If you can't bring your partner on board, it's because you haven't identified perspective or context, and what I call is aligning your partners. So aligning your partner with your priorities. So if you and I would sit down as a couple, and once we work through everything, we would be able to work out what our priorities are. And when you've got your big rocks in the jar, which is what we've always referred to them, it's then very clear. If we want to get to that priority, there's potentially going to be some trade-offs. But then if we don't, and there's consequences if we don't, conform our money management to those types of levels. So I always say align priorities, get the timing in terms of how you organise your money, and understand the impact of that decision. So that's the consequences. So if we do that, and we've got a budget, for a holiday of $3,000, but we decide to buy that couch because the other couch is not on trend, but it's still perfectly comfortable to sit on, then the reality is that that's got to come from somewhere else if you haven't planned it in your 12-month provision allocation.
What is it that we're both jointly in alignment on, so that we can actually say, because generally these topics come down to, well, you just want me to stop spending, or you don't want me to enjoy myself, or you want me to cut back. And the answer is no, that's not what we want, but we actually want to make sure that I've got a Scott White testimonial.
Yep.
I've got that coming up, but he reached out to me again. He said, the difference when my wife and I suddenly got on the same page was enormous to the personal happiness of everyone. She didn't feel like she couldn't do what she wanted to do, and I didn't feel like I couldn't, because we knew we were both heading towards the same goal. So,
because if you approach it from, honey, I don't think we're good money managers, and it's confrontational then, right? And then so everyone just gets defensive and says, oh, well, you spend on that. And the conversation is not going to be a productive conversation around, but if you get alignment on your priorities and you come from that context, the conversation will grow. The openness in the conversation around how you're having those open and frank things. And usually what you'll find is your partner will then put on the table rather than you having to get it. Yeah, you're right, I probably do that. And so if you want to have a win, put one thing that you do on the table that you're admitting that is probably not ideal for us getting to our priorities, and it'll be reciprocated. So don't ask the other to get theirs out. Put yours on the table first.
And be mindful of language. We need to do these sorts of things rather than you need to do this. So I've had these conversations with my wife. So I'm not talking theory, and I've cocked them up. Don't worry. So I've gone, you need to do this, and
I've overspent when I said I wasn't going to do it. So life does get in the way. But if you come back to a system, a rules-based system, and a way in which you can organise your money and control it and see the impacts of those decisions, I tell you what, alignment is easier than what it is in just sort of saying, well, we set a budget, but we never followed it.